turned the air down a little bit. I turned the air down a little bit because it was pretty freaking hot, man.
It always helps.
Oh, it was set for 74 with all those heat in there. Get pretty damn warm pretty quick.
I saw your email, and I Monday's meetings, and before I knew she's responding, so Joe did. We had left them both on there because he was ready.
Okay.
So we had to leave it on because of the hearing.
Okay. Yeah, I just looked at him like, oh shit. That was my reaction, was oh shit. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Call the roll.
Trustee Fenton? Trustee Dodge? Trustee Guerra?
Here.
Trustee Ruzick?
Here.
Trustee Calandrello?
Here.
Trustee Carroll? President Pico?
Here.
Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
How's that? How do you do this again?
It's right down here. I have to rediscover it, so you do this.
approval of May 31st, 2017 special meeting minutes.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Fenton.
move to approve the minutes of the Board of Trustees special meeting of May 31st, 2017.
First, does anyone have changes to the minutes?
What?
I said, first, does anyone have changes to the minutes?
Let's just do it old school.
It's on.
Well, I'll just speak loudly. So, Trustee Fenton?
Move to approve the minutes of the Board of Trustees special meeting of May 31st, 2017.
Second.
Does anyone have changes to the minutes? I actually do have a change to the minutes. Page 4. Did you get a book?
No.
So, page 4 at the end, what we talked about was splitting the revenue into 3 columns. Rollover projects, reserve reduction, and then operating revenue. That was Trustee Carroll that suggested doing that.
Can you repeat that, please?
Changing the revenue into 3 columns, rollover projects, reserve reduction, and operating revenue.
I'll listen to the tape again.
Are there any other changes to the minutes? Call the roll.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Guerra?
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick?
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello?
Aye.
Trustee Carroll?
I'm going to abstain since I didn't hear the discussion.
President Pico?
Aye. The minutes are approved.
Approval of June
5-0 with 1 abstention.
approval of June 19th, 2017 regular meeting minutes.
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Calandrello.
I move to approve the minutes of the Board of Trustee meeting of June 19, 2017.
Second?
Also, 1 second, Mike. I do want to make I move to approve them with amendment that the, 1 second, that does not go, so.
Yeah.
I can
You
speak
are
loudly.
Jack of all trades.
As long as it's getting recorded now.
Sounds like we're in surround sound.
We-
Okay,
I think they found it.
it's working.
Think so.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
I got coffee.
So trustee Calandrello, your amendment?
Sure. So let's just do it over again so everyone can hear. I move to approve the minutes of the regular board meeting of June 19, 2017, with the amendment that during the discussion for the sick pay leave, this would be on page 21. It should be 2016 is when the sick leave ordinance, sick leave vote was. So just from 2014 to 2016 in the page 21.
Second is amended.
Also, I would like to amend the minutes as well. Page 1, simple spelling error, it should be attack, not attach. So you've got a spelling error there on page 1.
Second is amended again.
And then on page 20, I have a few things to add. So my comments on page 20 were that proponents argue that raising the minimum wage is good for the economy. I didn't say agree, I said argue. Also, from December 2007 to November 2010, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, I quoted that. Then the facts that I listed were actually, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, 54% of minimum wage workers are under 24 years old, 65% of all minimum wage workers have never married, and 59% of all minimum wage workers are employed less than 35 hours per week. Then lastly, I said the Village of Orland Park, if the minimum wage is raised to $12 per hour, the village cost will increase by $200,000 per year due to increased costs to our part-time summer employees. These costs have to be passed on to residents, or we will need to hire 44 fewer people. Then finally, my comment was it's my job to make my decisions based on these facts, not on the emotions that feel good, and that's why I didn't support the resolution.
And we'll again, second is amended.
Call the roll.
Trustee Calandrello.
Aye.
Trustee Carroll.
Aye.
Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Guerra.
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick.
Aye.
Mayor Pica.
Aye.
In search for a cure.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Ruzick?
I move to approve issuing a raffle license to In Search of a Cure to sell raffle tickets during their annual golf event on Thursday, July 27, 2017 at Silver Lakes Country Club.
Second.
Are there any comments? So the question is put to pass In Search of the Cure raffle license as read. Call the roll.
Trustee Ruzick.
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello.
Aye.
Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Guerra.
Aye.
Trustee Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor Pica.
Aye.
Carl Sandburg High School Music Booster Club raffle license.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Guerra?
I move to approve issuing a raffle license to the Carl Sandburg High School Music Booster Club to sell raffle tickets beginning July 17th through December 8th, 2017.
Second.
Are there any comments? The question is put as read. Call the roll.
Trustee Guerra.
Aye.
Trustee Carroll.
Aye.
Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick.
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello. Mayor Pica.
Aye.
Consent agenda.
Are there any items to pull off of the consent agenda? I have two items to pull off the consent agenda, item G and item J.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Ruzick?
I would move to approve items A through K with the exception of G and J of the consent agenda.
Second.
Second.
The motion is moved and seconded. I will read the items. Item A is payroll approval. Item B is accounts payable for June 20th through July 3rd approval. Item C is disposal of 3 seized vehicles at public auction from drivers who were driving their vehicle while their license was suspended for DUI ordinance. Item D, village code amendment for the seizure and impoundment of abandonment vehicles, motor vehicles, allowing for removal of abandoned vehicles 7 days after notification of the owner. It's an ordinance. Item E, replacement of corroded doors at Centennial Pools Aquatic Center, CPAC proposals. Item F, Park Hills Pond 1 North Side and Park Hill Pond 3 North Side, shoreline restoration and stabilization Phase 2. Item H, wayfinding and branding implementation, installation of logo medallions on LaGrange Road. Item I, Village Hall parking lot topographical survey and parking lot reconfiguration design engineering. And item K, Chicago Cal Rivers Fund Grant 2017, authorizing application for an Orland Park Nature Center grant resolution. The motion has been moved and seconded. The question is put as read. Call the roll.
Trustee Ruzick.
Aye.
Trustee Guerra.
Aye.
Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello.
Aye.
Trustee Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye. It's J and K, right? G and J.
G and K.
G and J, yeah.
Horton Center. G and K, right?
G and J.
Yeah. G and J. Horton Center Shopping Center Parents Improvement Grant.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Fenton?
move to authorize the village president to execute amended appearance improvement grant agreement for the Horton Center Shopping Center.
Second.
The motion has been moved and seconded. Any questions? I have one question. I saw in there that it was an amount to exceed not 20,000, then later, about 3 paragraphs later, it said a not to exceed amount of 60,000. So I wanted to understand what the differences there were.
Tonight is
Some
not a good
technology
night for
problems
mics.
tonight.
I have
It's the
nothing
fireworks.
to do with the mics. Actually, the total grant amount is $60,000 because there's 3 separate parcels there. And back in 2014, when this was approved by the village board, it was the program allows $20,000 per piece of property. And this particular center has 3 separate pieces of property. So the maximum grant is $60,000.
Okay. And any other questions on that? That was my question. The question has been moved and seconded. It's now put. Call the roll.
Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello.
Aye.
Trustee Guerra.
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick.
Aye.
Trustee Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
Holiday Decor Phase 2.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Fenton?
move to approve a contract with Artistic Holiday Designs in an amount of $355,181.76, and with Holiday Creations, Inc. in an amount of $65,000 for labor and installation as outlined below.
Second.
Mr. Chairman.
Trustee Count.
Just a point of order, I noticed that the recommended motion on our tablet has a preliminary section before what Trustee Fenton read. There's a sentence
It
before.
does. And I move to approve Phase 2 holiday program in the amount of $420,181.76.
Somebody second the amendment?
Second.
Okay, so the motion is moved and seconded. Any questions?
I have a question. This cost that we're putting out for the lights and the decor, which is the majority of it, $355,000 of it, what is the, unless I missed it, what is the lifespan?
The lifespan is about 10 years. The nice thing about these type of things is they can be rebuilt if the lights go out. They're LED lights, so that's also good as well. But so let's say, for example, in 5 years, we need to start making repairs to the custom pole design or something like that. We'll have the ability to make those changes. So it doesn't mean that at the end of year 10 that you're going to have to go ahead and replace all the holiday decorations. That's not the way that it is. But generally, we've asked the same question with the supplier. It's about 10 years.
Okay. And this is for LaGrange Road only?
Yeah, so it's a couple different things.
Okay.
It includes new custom pole decor, which if any have seen the one that's hanging. There's a prototype that's hanging down at the 143rd train station. So that includes pole decor for LaGrange Road. It includes pole decor for the Crescent Park and the downtown area, as well as pole decor for down Riveni Avenue as well. So that includes the pole decor. It includes the wrapping of all of the trees as well, the material, the supplies, the strings, as well as the labor. And then in addition, we added a few larger elements that were reflected in the staff report and were included in your handout. You had pictures and specs of those. As the board knows, we have been working very diligently with IDOT on LaGrange Road, road improvement project. And we had a number of meetings with them in the spring about extending some of the decor that was part of Phase 1 last year in the medians along LaGrange Road. And IDOT came back and said that they would not allow that type of the larger decor items to be installed in the medians on LaGrange Road. So having received that decision from IDOT, we added a few other elements that will be down here at the Village Hall, as well as we added a new custom ribbon tree that will only be available to Orland Park. That will be down at Crescent, and then the origami tree that was there last year will be moved down here. So there's a few other larger items that we added, but the majority of it was the custom pole decor, which was designed and manufactured just for the village. That will be including those major corridors that I told you, as well as all the tree lighting and wrapping that we have throughout the village.
Okay.
It should also, I'm sorry, Trustee Ruzick, it should also be noticed that the pole decor that we had last year was bought back from the manufacturer.
It was like
Credited.
We received a
Okay,
credit.
that's what I was going to
credit,
ask.
yeah.
Okay, so this is net of the credit, or is this in addition?
This is the credits applied already.
Credits applied.
The pole decor that we had last year were not custom. They were standard pole decor that was ordered basically from a catalog. With the feedback that we received from last year's Phase 1 and the need to make it more traditional, Christmas, they actually ended up doing the custom bow that's hanging out there today that you see, which will be removed later on this week. So that bow decor, it will only be in Orland Park.
And what was the credit that we got? Just curious.
It's, you know, I have to pull it up on Legistar. It should be reflected on that final,
I might have missed
on
it.
the attachment, yeah.
And in the medians, all of the we have electric outlets in all of
We
those?
do.
So are they going to be used for anything at this point?
Yeah, actually, they're going to be, the trees will be wrapped in the medians with the pure white lights like we had in Crescent Park and down in this area. So when you start on LaGrange Road as you're coming south, all the trees will be wrapped. And then you'll have the pole decor starting at the viaduct, basically going south. So as you're coming through LaGrange Road, the
Okay,
corridor
got
will
it.
still have the Christmas tree lights, the pure white lights, but what we won't be able to have is the bigger ornaments decor that we had requested IDOT to approve. But you'll still have a significant impact up and down LaGrange Road.
And how about the entrances to the mall? Are those also part of this?
You know, it's a challenge right now. We've reached out to both the mall as well as Orland Crossings. The intersections, as you go so far into the east-west connection of the intersections, they're still under IDOT control. So we can't put anything in IDOT right away. They gave a flat-out denial for that. So what we're trying to do now is figure out, is there a way that we can partner with some of the businesses like the mall and like Orland Crossing, so that as you get further into their private developments, there's an opportunity for additional Christmas decor.
You may also notice, Trustee Ruzick, we'll need to get that information to you on the.
It should be, if you pull it up, I
But
can.
I'm just looking, it shows the invoice subtotal is $337.
There's a $28,000
There should be a
credit, a
at the bottom of that.
$27,000 credit, and a $4,000 credit. So $60,000 roughly.
Right.
It should also be noted that 143rd Street, that median will be decorated because we own that
Right.
median.
So that's also included in your packet tonight. There's a Santa Claus and a couple other decor that's going to be in that median there, as well as having the median trees wrapped there as well, and the custom pole decor will be on that stretch of 143rd Street as well.
And the larger amount is a purchase that we're going to own those for 10 years.
Well-
How long is the warranty on those LED lights? Because commercial lights are
I
warranted.
believe they're 3 years. But yes, we are purchasing this. The only thing that we'll have to pay again next year will be for labor. Now, this year, we are going to have this particular company wrap the trees because that's very labor intensive. And right now, there's at least a minimum of 7 strands of lights on each tree. So that's a lot of wrapping of trees. But we're going to use our in-house maintenance crews between Public Works and the Parks Department to install the pole decor, as well as install the larger Christmas decorations for the holidays as well.
Will the trees stay wrapped year-round, or will they take them
No,
down?
they'll
They'll take
unwrap
them
them
down.
as well. So it's both the put up and the take down as well.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Are there any questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman, one of the
Trustee
things that
Fenton.
we're trying to create here is a winter wonderland that will be down out here in front of the Village Hall. And the Orland Park Lions Club is moving their Christmas tree sales down there also. And we've also secured vendors that will be, 2 vendors will be there on the weekends with hot chocolate, roasted cashews and almonds, and the hot pretzel lady from the market on Thursdays. So we're trying to make it a family event. We found out last year that a lot of people come out, they take pictures. It's very interactive, ornaments and displays that are out there. One of the things that we're bringing in is a big Santa sleigh that will be lit up that you can put your kids in, have pictures. We have a reindeer going to be out there. So we're just really trying to make it very family friendly and to encourage people to come out and enjoy what we're offering. A place to go.
Are there any other questions? The question has been moved and seconded, and it's now put. Call the roll.
Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Guerra.
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick.
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello.
Aye.
Trustee Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Fenton?
motion to go into public hearings.
Second.
The motion to go into public hearings has been moved and seconded. Call the roll.
Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Guerra.
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick.
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello.
Aye.
Trustee Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
The only reason this matter is on our public hearing agenda this evening is because it was on the agenda for the June 3rd meeting. What was originally scheduled and what was in the legal notice was a hearing on a proposed annexation agreement for the property at 15610 South LaGrange Road. That's the former site of the Army Maintenance Facility on the west side of LaGrange Road. Pursuant to the adjournment which occurred on June 3rd, since there wasn't a quorum, July 3rd, I'm sorry, this public hearing was adjourned to the July 17th meeting. So this will appear on the agenda for a public hearing on July 17th, not this evening.
So the question for the public hearing,
Just be a matter now of closing the public hearing.
so do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Fenton?
motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Guerra.
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick.
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello.
Aye.
Trustee Carroll. Mayor Pico.
Aye.
Concrete slab raising bid for concrete sidewalk restorations.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Carroll?
I move to approve acceptance of the lowest bid and award a contract to Quick Raising Concrete of Lockport, Illinois for concrete slab raising at the submitted unit prices for years 2017, 2018, and 2019 for an amount not to exceed $20,000 for fiscal year 2017 and an amount not to exceed the board-approved budget for fiscal years 2018 and 2019.
Second.
The question has been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? The question has been, is put as read. Call the roll.
Trustee Carroll.
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick.
Aye.
Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Guerra.
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
Mercy Trip traffic signal mast arm pole replacement.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Carroll?
I move to approve to pay Mead Incorporated of Chicago, Illinois for costs associated with the emergency replacement of the traffic signal mast arm pole and related work at 151st Street and 94th Avenue at a cost not to exceed $11,000 $37.84.
Second.
The question has been moved and seconded, or the motion has been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Carroll.
this is emergency repair due to a car accident, and the village will seek reimbursement of the responsible party.
Any other questions? The question is now put as read. Call the roll.
Trustee Carroll.
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick.
Aye.
Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Guerra.
Aye.
Trustee Calandrella.
Aye.
Mayor Peacock.
Aye.
Purchase of replacement dump truck hydraulic cylinders. Hydraulic cylinders.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Trustee Carroll.
I move to approve accepting the quote from Henderson Products, Inc. of Manchester, Iowa, for the purchase replacement hydraulic cylinders and bushings at a cost not to exceed $6,118.76.
Second.
The question has been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? The motion is now put as read. Call the roll.
Trustee Carroll.
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick.
Aye.
Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Guerra.
Aye.
Trustee Calandrella.
Aye.
Mayor Peacock.
Aye.
Dump body and snow removal equipment.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Carroll.
I move to approve accepting the National Joint Powers Alliance contract quote from Henderson Truck Equipment of Huntley, Illinois, for the purchase and installation of a dump body and snow removal equipment package in an amount not to exceed $103,740.
Second.
The question has been, the motion has been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? The motion is now put. Call the roll.
Trustee Carroll.
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick.
Aye.
Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Guerra.
Aye.
Trustee Calandrella.
Aye.
Mayor Peacock.
Aye.
Bid for floor tile replacement at Levy Center.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Carroll.
I move to approve to award the bid for floor tile replacement at the Franklin Levy Center to Carpet Interiors, Inc. of Orland Park, Illinois, for a not to exceed amount of $24,997, which includes $23,997 plus a $1,000 contingency.
Second.
The motion has been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? The question is now put. Call as read. Call the roll.
Trustee Carroll.
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick.
Aye.
Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Guerra.
Aye.
Trustee Calandrella.
Aye.
Mayor Peacock.
Aye.
Centennial Park bid award, approval for fencing repair replacements.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Guerra.
I move to approve awarding bid number 17-022 Centennial Park fence repair replacement to Fence Masters Incorporated for specified locations in an amount not to exceed $59,275.
Second.
The motion is moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? The question is now put as read. Call the roll.
Trustee Guerra.
Aye.
Trustee Calandrella.
Aye.
Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick.
Aye.
Trustee Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor Peacock.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, Trustee Gear, did you say 39 or 59?
59.
Okay, we heard 39 down here.
Sorry.
Village baseball.
Yep, you're right.
Village baseball field accessible and usable by people with special needs.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Guerra.
as chairman of the Parks and Recreation Committee, I would like to introduce a young man who has a proposal for us, which addresses the resolution in our packet. Zach Stack is here to explain a project that he would like to spearhead for the villages.
Can we move the motion first and then discuss?
The resolution? Sure.
Or the-
Sure. Resolution number, please.
1716.
Mr. Chairman, I move to pass resolution number 1716 entitled Resolution in Support of Establishment of Village Baseball Field Accessible and Usable by People with Special Needs.
Second.
The motion has been moved and seconded. And any comments from the board?
I have,
Okay.
I think we'd like to hear from Zach.
Understood. Good. And could you state your name and then?
Zachary Stack.
Okay, great.
Good evening. My name is Zachary Stack, and I'm a sophomore at Marist High School. I've lived in Orland Park my whole life and have been privileged to experience and enjoy the parks and fields that this great community offers its residents. I'm here today to ask for your permission so I can proceed to offer this privilege to all challenged individuals within our community and beyond our community. My dream is to have a Challengers baseball field where any individual with a physical or intellectual challenge may participate. I plan on putting together a committee made up of my peers to take on this great challenge and make this dream of mine a reality. I would like to introduce and recognize my peers that are able to attend tonight's meeting and are present with us tonight. Nikolai Skolnis, Marist. Connor McNamara, Marist. There are many others, but unfortunately they were unable to attend tonight's hearing. My committee will work in tandem with the village to make this dream possible. We all understand that this is a great challenge, but in the end, the reward will be endless. If you have any questions, please present them now or at a later date when time permits. Again, thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you very much, Zach. Are there any questions or comments?
If we could have Mr. Stack explain for those that don't know in the audience what a Challenger baseball field is.
So a Challengers baseball field is a field where challenged individuals who are physically and intellectually challenged are able to play the game of baseball. It is basically a field where it is like a turf in play where you could easily roll wheelchairs. So it's not like a traditional dirt field, but you could the turf in play can be colored like a baseball field, and it is very accessible for these challenged individuals to move their wheelchairs if they're unable to play on a regular baseball field.
And if I may add, the surface,
Trustee
if it's
Guerra.
a poured-in-place surface or whatever is determined at that time, we're going to seek planning, obviously. Even for those who are not in wheelchairs, but they may be a little less steady than if they should fall or underfoot, it's a much softer surface. The dugouts are accessible to wheelchairs, so you have benches that have gaps that a wheelchair could slide into and be like everyone else in that perfect line. Zach brought this, and they have pictures that they've shown us of some other fields. Interesting, Special Olympics are held down at Bloomington, and they don't have a Challenger field. So we may be able to host Special Olympics events here if we have a field like this at our own John Humphrey complex, which, by the way, is a location staff has decided would probably be most appropriate. Parking exists, power is there, the field is level. It would save us on many of the expenses.
Are there any other comments or questions?
Mr. Mayor?
Trustee Calandrella.
I just know that I support wholeheartedly. I think it's great that youth, I feel weird saying youth as being as young as I am, but I appreciate Zach and his friends taking the stance to do this on their own. This is not something that was fed to him through his parents, something that I think when I talked with Zach about his sister's friend who talked about having a Challenger field, and he said, why not Orland Park? So he's truly being a man and woman for others. And I know that he's also incorporating a lot of people from Sandburg, so it's not like it's a mayor's quote-unquote thing. It's a community thing. It's an Orland Park thing. So I commend him. I commend his group, and I just think it's a very neat thing to do. I don't know if I would be able to do it when I was a sophomore. I guess he's more intelligent than I am, but and this is great. I'm getting goosebumps when it's finally done. So I look forward to it. I know staff worked with him a little bit, and we'll continue to work with him. I wish you had a bucket. We have a lot of people here today. You could collect some money, but it's awesome. So I just want to say that. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Trustee Guerra.
One additional explanation, the reason we brought it to the board tonight is because Zach would like, and his friends would like to start fundraising at the Taste of Orland, and there will not be a recreation committee meeting in July on the 17th, so in order that we don't hold them up, we thought it best to bring them here tonight.
Any other comments? Trustee Ruzick?
My question is, what is your timetable, or what is your aggressive goal to get it started?
So our goal is basically determined on the amount of funds we receive and how fast we receive them. We don't really have a set date yet, but we plan to have it as soon as possible.
Okay.
And how much money do you need?
We need $500,000 we plan on fundraising, which will cover a baseball field as well as a bathroom facility.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, have you guys
Trustee
set up a
Fenton?
GoFundMe page?
We have not yet, but we plan to.
Oh, good, because those seem to work very well.
Yes.
And I think it's a great idea, and congratulations on your efforts.
Thank you.
I will write them a check.
Anything else? Any other comments or questions? So Zach, thank you very much. It takes a lot of guts as a sophomore in high school to come up and do this and to put this together. I commend you and your friends and your peers for doing this and for getting involved. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
With that, the motion, or the resolution has been moved and seconded, and the question is put as read. Call the roll.
Trustee Guerra?
Aye.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Ruzek?
Aye.
Trustee Calandrella?
Aye.
Trustee Carroll?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
Approval of impact study consulting services?
Mr. Chairman?
Trustee Ruzek?
I move to approve a transfer from contingency in the amount of $40,000 and approve Crow Horvath LLC to perform an impact study for food and beverage and video gaming taxes at a cost not to exceed $40,000.
Second.
The motion has been moved and seconded. Are there any questions?
You want this one?
Mr. Chairman?
Trustee Ruzek?
I just had a comment. Neither of these has passed. There's been some misperception out there that Orland has or is on the verge of passing video gaming, that it's not been up for consideration as long as I've been on the board. But we are looking at it. As you know, Springfield looks to take more of our dollars on a local level. We as a municipality have to, look at various revenue sources that we can create here at our level. So the food and beverage tax, I think, as our staff has pointed out, several municipalities like ours have such a tax. We here in Orland Park have several taxes that are available to us that we don't take part in, and I believe that that's the prudent thing to do. Looking to the future, I'm not sure what the future is going to hold again, depending on what goes on in Springfield. It does hurt us on a local level. So we felt that it was just prudent to do an impact study and have a consultant look at these and see what kind of impact it would have at our local level.
Any other questions or comments? So piggybacking on Trustee Ruzek's comments, absolutely none of this has been passed, and I can tell you from my office, I've gotten several calls, including we've actually had meetings for liquor licenses thinking that video gaming was already approved, and that is not the case. There will be extensive public hearings. I believe the board would want that before anything like that would ever be passed. So this is simply a study so that we have some facts that we can base our decisions on. Trustee Guerra.
If I were to comment on this too, I believe, in my opinion, video gaming, as you say, would require a great number of hearings, but I would also like to see it go to a referendum. I think that's
Any other
the
questions or
clearest.
comments? The question is put as read. Call the roll.
Trustee Ruzek?
Aye.
Trustee Carroll?
Aye.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Guerra?
Aye.
Trustee Calandrella?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
Ad hoc committee to review Orland Parks Commission and board structure?
Mr. Chairman?
Trustee Ruzek.
I move to approve for the village board to create an ad hoc committee effective immediately to review the commission structure of Orland Park and provide important recommendations to the village board, and to appoint the following persons to the committee: Trustee Ruzek, chairperson; Trustee Guerra, vice chairperson; Ed Giron, Kevin Scanlon, Janine Smith, Ed Schusler, and Bill Healy.
Second. Are there any questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman?
Trustee Carroll.
There's been discussion a couple times over the last year or two about reevaluating our commission structure. Commissions, as we all know, are designed to assist the board in helping funnel information, make recommendations to the board. But those commissions over the years have been dissolved, they've been added, there've been commissions added and dissolved several times, looking through our ordinance history today over the course of years. I think it's more appropriate, since it's a commission to advise the board, that the board would maybe yourself as mayor would appoint a special committee of the board members to review our commission structure and determine whether each commission is A, pertinent, B, needs to be modified or amended or stricken down, and then C, whether the current members of those commissions are performing efficiently. But to me, it would appear to be something that the board itself should do, considering the status of our current ordinances and the commission structure of assisting our board.
Are there any comments? Any other comments or questions?
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Benton?
as the conversation you and I had, I have no concern. I mean, I have to rephrase that. I have no issue with creating this committee. However, I do have some concerns with the appointments. I kind of go along with Trustee Carroll's comment or a recommendation from each board member as to one member that they think would be appropriate for the committee. So I was wondering if it would be possible to split this motion into two motions, if that would be considered.
Mr. Chairman?
You'd have to amend the motion.
As a trustee and former commission member of both Recreation Advisory and the Plan Commission, I oppose the creation of this review commission to evaluate and direct our existing boards and commissions. I agree, a review should be made, but not in this fashion. This proposal has no direction, no oversight, no rules, outlines, requirements for the members thereof, and no appreciation for the many commission members who have committed their time and energy for the betterment of our village over many years. As chairman of the Parks and Recreation Committee, I regularly attend the Recreation Advisory Board meetings and the Fine Arts Commission meetings. I know the members who, by the way, were appointed after an application process, which included one-on-one meeting in the mayor's office. I see it as my responsibility to work with and even evaluate the members of these committees. I also recommend residents to be appointed to them by the mayor. This is my responsibility. I do not believe it should be given to others who I know little of, or they know nothing of, and virtually no familiarity with our current system. For example, the Recreation Advisory Board is chaired by a well-respected member of our community. This resident not only actively participates in the meetings, but he contributes to the discussions by acting as a liaison with some of our sports organizations in the village. This gentleman donates time outside the meeting structure by volunteering his time to volunteer at a number of events, and his support is invaluable. Should someone who is unfamiliar with the Recreation Advisory Board, never been a member of one, attended a meeting of, or perhaps even an event, be encouraged to offer an opinion on his value to the village? I would rather the trustees participate and offer an assessment on our existing committee structure if changes are to be made, and I agree some may be needed. Then it should be at the suggestion of people who are familiar with the commissions or boards and the value they bring, rather than risk offending people who have given so much to their community.
Any other questions or comments?
I just have one comment. My understanding was never that we were going to be evaluating the members of the commission. I always viewed it as evaluating the structure and making sure that, you know, that these commissions are still relevant and, you know, that we're not wasting people's time. And so I never viewed that we were going to be identifying, you know, whether these people are the right people for the commission.
That was my understanding as I was told.
Mr. Chairman, just to kind of...
Trustee Calendro, did you have a comment?
I do, but if Trustee Carroll wants to go first.
Trustee Carroll.
I was going to say my understanding was the same as Trustee Guerra, and looking at, in our packet, the purpose of the ad hoc committee, it's pretty broad in the powers it grants. And again, our village ordinance allows the president and board of trustees to set a standing or special committee. And that could, the same thing that we're trying to accomplish, which I'm in favor of the idea of evaluating our commission structure. I just think it could be done much more effectively with people that have a little bit more of a long-term institutional knowledge as to what's happened with those commissions in the past, through all of us forming a special committee to review these commissions, do most of the same things you're talking about. But I agree with Trustee Guerra that what is listed in the purpose of the ad hoc committee as presented tonight is way too broad, and it takes the authority away from those that have been elected to do the exact same thing.
Trustee Calandrello, you had a comment?
Yes, I have a few concerns about this ad hoc committee, but I agree with you, Mr. Mayor, in conversations we had, that our commissions need to be reviewed and improved. I mean, I can think of multiple things off the top of my head right now that if we had an open discussion about, I think could improve the committee structure. I believe that we should make sure that residents are involved, like we talked about, Mr. Mayor, in our village. The village, we want to tap those resources. Completely agree with you on that point. With that said, I would like to table this matter so that we could have further discussion, just like we did with your Economic Development Committee proposal, and make sure that all board members are on board and discussing about this. Trustee Dodge, as you can see, is not here present today, and as a younger board member and experience, I always count on him for his input. I mean, he's been around for a long time, and I think that's necessary. Again, this is not about the people you suggested, but a process issue, an input issue, because this ad hoc committee, as some trustees have addressed already, has great responsibility as it's doing right now. I mean, I think, and also I wouldn't want to appoint these individuals when they don't have the full support of the whole board, because at the end of the day, they're helping us. Additionally, I would like to see heightened transparency for this ad hoc committee because it doesn't have requirements of the Open Meeting Act. It wouldn't have reporting requirements. Just like, we have to hold ourselves to a standard of being open to the public, being responsible to the public, and this committee wouldn't be. Mr. Mayor, I'm going to make a motion after I'm done speaking to table this. And if you don't agree with that and allow this to be an open process and have all 6 trustees input and you force this vote tonight, I will vote no for those reasons. To repeat, I agree with the goal of improving the village commissions and the ad hoc committee, but I cannot support it as it stands right now. So at this time,
Well, first I would like to comment on the comments that have been made, so that the public understands what exactly is here. The purpose of this special commission, this ad hoc commission, is to do the following: review our existing commission's goals, structure, charter, and current level of engagement and impact. Identify commissions that are no longer needed and make recommendations on new commissions and advisory boards to fill needed gaps. For example, our Economic Development Advisory Board has not met in 5 years. Third, make recommendations on commission structure, meeting requirements, goals, and charters to help make them more value added for the village board and staff. Make recommendations on how to make the commissions more efficient and effective. Ensure our commission structure continues to meet state requirements. The members of the special commission were as read. The overarching goal of this commission is to ensure that our citizen boards are pertinent, engaged, and value-added for the village board. We have a talented group of citizens, and engaging them in meaningful, helpful, and important village matters is beneficial and force multiplying for the village. This effort will help ensure that our commission structure is efficient, meaningful, and value maximizing.
Mr. Chairman?
How long? This special commission will operate for approximately 6 months. And to address your specific concerns, there's nothing here that says that any commission members are going to be appointed. That is still the purview of the mayor and the board's approval. So they are not going to recommend removal of people. They are helping with the commission structure. So where you got that in here, I'm not sure. Additionally, I've heard from, I think, five or six of the trustees that there's concerns about the commissions. When we talked about it, and there was agreement. There's been many years to do something about it, and so my action here is to try to do something about it and actually engage our citizenry. And there appears to be a concern about the individuals that are appointed. Trustee Ruzick is the chairperson, who's a trustee. Trustee Gira, who is the vocal opponent, who said she's not for this, is the vice chairperson for a reason, because she is opposed to this, so that your input is taken and listened to. Ed Jerome is a citizen of Orland Park, who's a great guy and who wants to be committed to helping Orland Park. Kevin Scanlon has sat on many boards, is also a resident of Orland Park. He's not here tonight because he's on vacation. Janine Smith has been a village manager and an economic developer before. Ed Schussler, as you all know, has a plethora of knowledge about how the village operates. So the concern that there's people on this board without a plethora of without knowledge of how the village operates. Ed Schussler certainly has that. And Bill Healy is a well-respected member of the community. So I don't really see anything here that is And at the end of the day, this body will recommend to the village board that can either take those recommendations or not take those recommendations. I am open to hearing suggested changes to this. I'm also open to tabling it until Jim Dodge comes back. But this is a fairly benign act here to put this group together to actually look at something that we know is broken. We know that our commission structure is broken.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Excuse me. I believe trustee Calandrella has a motion to table, and I believe that has to be considered.
Did you make a motion to table?
I was
trustee
about to,
Calderon?
and then Mr. Mayor was making some comments. I didn't want to interrupt him. So at this time, I do make a motion to table.
Trustee Calandrella?
Yes, sir. At this time, I'd like to motion to table this piece of legislation until all trustees are present and able to submit input to the process.
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded. Any comments? I believe that a better motion would be to postpone this to a date certain, as opposed to tabling it.
That's fine, Mr. Mayor. I just want to make sure everyone's.
So the motion to table has been made and seconded. The question is now put to the board.
Trustee Calandrella?
Aye.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Guerra?
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick?
I just have a question. Are we moving to postpone this? or
Well, he made a motion to table it.
Motion
We have
to table.
We have
Okay,
to
and then
vote on
can we make
that.
a motion after that to postpone it?
No. We
Well,
have
you could
to-
do a motion to pull from the table at some point in the future, so it's basically the same thing.
It's on the table until somebody moves to bring it off the table. So it's a priority motion that must be voted on at this point.
So I would then vote no.
Trustee Carroll?
Aye.
Mayor Peacock?
No. So the motion to table has passed 4-2.
Amend Title 7, Chapter 4, number of Class A liquor license.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Carroll.
ordinance number, please.
5199.
Move to pass ordinance number 5199 entitled an ordinance amending Title 7, Chapter 4 of the Orland Park Municipal Code regarding the available number of Class A liquor licenses issued by the Village of Orland Park, Cook and Will Counties, Illinois.
Second.
The motion has been moved and seconded. Are there any comments or questions? The question is now put as read. Call the roll.
Trustee Carroll?
Aye.
Trustee Guerra?
Aye.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick?
Aye.
Trustee Calandrella?
Aye.
Mayor Peacock?
Aye.
Amend Title 7, Chapter 4, number of Class B liquor license.
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Calandrella.
I move to pass ordinance number 5200 entitled amended Title 7, Chapter 4 of the Orland Park Municipal Code regarding the available number of Class B liquor licenses issued by the Village of Orland Park, Cook and Will Counties of Illinois.
Second.
Any questions? The motion has been moved and seconded. The question is now put as read.
Trustee Calandrella?
Aye.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Guerra?
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick?
Aye.
Trustee Carroll?
Aye.
Mayor Peacock?
Aye.
Opposing the Cook County sweetened beverage tax.
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Calandrella.
I move to approve the resolution with the amendment of striking the fourth whereas at this time. And this would be the resolution opposing the Cook County sweetened beverage tax.
Could you please repeat that?
Sure. At this time, let me read resolution number.
1717.
Thank you. I move to pass resolution 1717 entitled Resolution Opposing the Cook County Sweetened Beverage Tax with the removal of the fourth whereas that starts, this is clearly A, at this time.
Second.
The question, or the motion has been moved and seconded. Yes.
Fenton second, Kathy second.
Are there any questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman.
Trustee Carroll.
Just wanted to point out, as a matter of what I saw in the media, is that the Cook County courts have passed a temporary injunction prohibiting this tax from being implemented July 1st as originally written. And I know it's got a check date sometime next week. I believe it's the 12th. So we may be a little premature. I would probably abstain from a vote. I'm not going to do a motion to table unless the board decides that's what they want to do, but I'd prefer to see what the courts do, because we're basically right now we'd be voting to send a resolution to the county board on a tax and an ordinance that is currently being postponed by the courts. I think we're a little premature at this time.
Any other questions or comments?
Mr. Mayor?
Trustee
I have a
Ruzick.
comment. While I clearly believe that everything stated in the fourth paragraph is accurate, I will still vote in favor of this resolution, if that's what it takes to get your support.
Is there any other comments or questions?
Mr. Mayor?
Trustee Calendar.
Thank you. Just very briefly, the reason why I struck that is I'm not a fan of how it's worded, and I think that anything from the village should be very official and straightforward. That's the only reason. It's more of a style issue, and I think we should stick to the facts. I know you always talk about sticking to the facts, so that's why I made that motion. I just want to explain that.
Any other questions or comments? So I agree with Trustee Ruzick that I like the fourth paragraph, but I'm also fine with it not being in there. And to Trustee Calandrello's point, that is more of an opinion than a fact, so I'm absolutely fine with pulling that out. Additionally, Trustee Carroll, we had no problems passing a resolution for a minimum wage bill and a sick leave that we discussed and voted on that is not in front of the Illinois House right now. So I don't see any problems with doing this, even though there's pending litigation. Any other questions or comments? The resolution is put as moved and as read. Call the roll.
Trustee Calandrella.
Aye.
Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Guerra.
Aye.
Trustee Ruzick.
Aye.
Trustee Carroll.
Abstain.
Mayor Peacock.
Aye.
Yeah, somebody did sign it.
Are there any citizens that would like to speak? Oh, looks like we have someone. Bill Lund.
My name is Bill Lund. I live on 8544 West 143rd Place in Bay Cliff subdivision. I've been there 32 years. My backyard faces 143rd Street between 85th and 87th. A couple of these concerns are not only mine, my neighbors too. The traffic on 143rd, these people are getting out of control with speed. Speed limit's 40. The average is 50 to 60 with these people going down that street. And it's getting more and more difficult to pull out of my subdivision on 143rd. Most of the time now, you have to go out on the median to wait to get into the flow of traffic. Last year, I was trying to get in the subdivision. I hear this horn beeping behind me. Look up in my mirror, some woman in a minivan is giving me the finger because I slowed down to pull into the subdivision. This is insane. Not only that, it's the street's in bad shape. Behind my house, there's a dip, and with all these construction trucks running up and down the street, it shakes my house. The dishes are rattling. I've had pictures fall off the wall. The street needs to be some work done on it. About 2 weeks ago, I called the police because the dump trucks were flying up and down the street. The police came, slowed them down. I seen them on the radio talking to each other. What they did then is they went to 135th Street, came down to 82nd Street and come the other way to avoid the police because they knew the police were there. I'd like to see an increased presence of the police on 143rd Street to slow these people down, because I'm saying it's out of hand, and see if something could be done not only behind my house to get it fixed from keep shaking my house. For my neighbors are complaining about it too. That's why I'm here representing them also. I'd like to see it fixed behind my house so I don't have any more damage to my house. So thanks for listening. I hope you can do something about this, especially about these people speeding, because they're cooking down that street. The day is an expressway. At night, it's like a drag strip back there with people speeding with their cars and motorcycles. And because all you have to do is spend a little time, sit with me in my backyard, you'll see what I'm talking about. So, thanks for listening. Hope we can do something about it.
You're welcome. Thank you for your comments. Any questions?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I'm sorry, what was your first name?
Pardon?
What's your first name?
Bill.
Bill. I'm in charge of the public safety, and I'll talk to Jim McCarthy, the police, about having increased patrol and slow down. And here's my business card with my cell phone. Give me a call tomorrow. Next day, we'll set up a meeting and make sure things happen, okay?
Usually the cop car sits on 87th Avenue, right at Evergreen.
Yeah, I know.
He's so far back there, he can't see anybody.
He's got to get more towards LaGrange. Yep, I got you.
Or he sits on the other side, same thing. He can't see anybody.
Just the hill. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I don't see too many people getting pulled over.
We have Pacific Speed, for lack of a better word, teams that kind of address some certain issues when they come around the neighborhood. So I think we could probably figure something out for you.
Right.
Thank you.
Like I say, the main street behind my house, you can see, you don't have to be an engineer. You can see the dip. And the truck is bouncing, and it's like an earthquake. You get the aftershock after. It's not like one, it's two or three. It's all there. Because when they built the road back there, I don't know whose idea it was, but instead of backfilling with gravel and dirt, they encased all the sewers that were behind my house in styrofoam. Whose idea it was, but it didn't look like a good idea at the time, and I don't think it is now. She's looking at me like I'm crazy. They're in styrofoam.
Look at staff.
They are in styrofoam.
It is, it's true. It is styrofoam.
But just make sure we have your contact information. You have mine now. You have my cell phone. Just don't call after 9. My wife gets jealous. So, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Any other comments from the citizens? But if someone wants to make a comment, please come up and state your name and.
Good evening. My name is Virginia Williams. I live in Orland Park. And that gentleman spoke of all of the streets in Orland Park. I don't think people know when a light is red, they're supposed to stop. It seems like when the cameras stopped, everybody decided to be illegal. And you don't see any police. What happened to our police department? We used to have a lot of squad cars going around. Last night, 12:30 last night, fireworks are going off. The second time in 39 years, I've called the police. As soon as they can get to it, they can get to it. I just don't understand why we can't get more service for the taxes we are paying. It doesn't make any sense to me. I've got a feeling that a lot of it has got to do with the people that are behind the curtain. Time to get out from behind the curtain, people, and see what's happening on those streets. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Any questions? Any other comments?
Hi, Andy Baracki, and I didn't plan on talking, that's why I didn't complete a form, but what I wanted to discuss or mention was the Christmas decorations that you're talking about now at $300,000. My question is, when did we start putting decorations up that don't mean anything to Christmas? They're what I was told, they're whimsicals. That's what I was told last year when I saw some of these decorations that went up that had nothing to do with Christmas. Okay, this is last year, this is not this year. The decorations, I mean, people were calling me, I was calling people. I said, what is that? So I finally called the village and I said, what kind of decorations are those? And they said, they're whimsicals. I said, what does whimsical have to do with Christmas? I said, but can we get stars back up? Can we get a jingle bell? An angel is Christmas, yeah. But I was told that, you know, it might offend other people. And that really blew my mind. I thought, what? I said, we've always celebrated Christmas in this country. It's about the birth of Christ, and that's the way it should be. So I want to know what kind of decorations you're getting for $300-some-thousand. That's all.
Carrie, could you give us a,
Well,
Carrie, could you, excuse me, Carrie, could you please give us a quick rundown of what the Christmas lights are, the holiday lights?
First of all, I would,
Carrie, please.
yes, they are holiday decor for the holiday season. We have a number of different types of decor that have been purchased last year as well as this year. The custom light pole decor that we spoke about previously this evening is a very nice, very elegant bow that is currently hung. There's a prototype of this hung down at the Crescent Park by the 143rd Street train station. There are a mix of many different types of decorations, including a Santa Claus, including stars, including bows, including trees, including
Snowmen.
penguins and polar bears and a sleigh and reindeer. So it's a whole mix of holiday decor. We do not celebrate one particular religion, but we do celebrate the holiday season.
I have some
If
pictures
I could also
here. Are these
just-
the pictures?
Yes.
So I know it's hard to see here, but,
You can drive right down here too. It's still up.
right.
Ma'am, I would just also just want to note that the holiday season starts at Thanksgiving, goes all the way past New Year's, so it's just not the Christmas, it's the whole holiday season starts with Thanksgiving and includes Thanksgiving and New Year's.
I think we can also mention that some of the decorations we had last year, we got credit for, and the company took them back. So we have...
Right, so for the light pole decor that was hung last year, which was
Whimsical.
They were not custom designed for Orland Park. They were a standard design that we ordered out of a catalog. This year, we got a credit for those standard street pole decor, and then we engaged with the manufacturer to construct a customized pole decor for the Village of Orland Park.
Mr. Chairman?
Trustee Fenton?
There were some other designs in the new purchase that we were making that were non-traditional, that working with staff, I nixed those and said that we did need to bring back the traditional ideas. And I was totally with you the day those whimsical ones went up. I was on the phone saying, what are these? But what we're planning on purchasing is going to make your heart feel very warm inside and fuzzy.
So very, very quickly, I'll just, there's a large bow, which Andy saw and she likes for the poles, but there's also a tree, there is a sleigh or sled of some kind.
One that actually you can take pictures in.
Santa's like,
Right? There's a reindeer, a snowman, a polar bear, there's a penguin.
There's two penguins.
It looks like there's a clause. And then there's some toy soldiers and some stars. So I think that staff heard what you had to say and the issues, which is why we talked earlier about the credit. So they did hear, and the new lights are hopefully be more to everyone's liking. Sure.
I just want to know, have you guys looked into how much other towns spend on their decorations? Because I got decorations for the city of downtown Joliet. We had a $30,000 budget. That's a big difference. And you're talking, you're comparing Joliet is a pretty big city. So I just, have you guys looked at what other towns around here spend on their decorations? I think the number's kind of absurd. Or have you looked at the Orland businesses?
Need you to state your name for the record.
Heather Cahoon. I mean, I think, have you guys looked at other towns and what they spend?
Let our staff answer.
So we have looked at a number of other towns, New Lenox being one of them, along with Wheeling and several other, Rosemont.
Yeah, Wheeling.
One of the things that we're trying to do as well is help our businesses, because the internet sales have increased so much that the director of the board was, what can we do to help our brick and mortar stores? So we're trying to create an experience for families to come out here. So not only are they seeing the lights, but they'll also shop, eat, dine, all that in the Orland Park area.
We have the third, Orland Square Mall has the number 3 Santa in it. Like, why don't you advertise that? We could do it, not spending $400,000. We could do it, hey, come on out to Orland, you know, you can make things look pretty without spending almost $500,000 on decorations.
And just to note that the last time we had, to the board, last time we had purchased decorations were nearly 30 years ago, and those decorations have been in disrepair, so.
I guess.
How long did they last? Did they last 28? Those are only gonna last 3.
No, that's not true. The lifespan of the decorations are over a decade.
You said you could do 10 years, but you said that the lights were gonna last 3.
We believe there's a guarantee for the lights and the decor that comes with the order. I think there's been a lot of talk about the experience of our retail in not just at Orland Park, but in the entire country as well. And we have invested a significant amount of money in the LaGrange corridor. IDA has invested over $100 million in that corridor, and we, the Village of Orland Park, have invested over $15 million. There's a reason why that additional investment was made by the Village Board, and that was, again, to draw people to our commercial corridor. Just to give a little bit of background information on Orland Park's economy, we have about 57,000 people who reside in Orland Park. We have an overall trade area of 850,000 people. Our trade area is the single largest trade area in the entire Chicago region. We stretch all the way to Indiana. We stretch past Joliet. And it's very important that we continue to support our local businesses. We get a significant amount of sales tax dollars from people who come into Orland Park, that 850,000 people who choose to spend their money in Orland Park to shop here, to eat here, and to experience Orland Park. We have 12 million square feet of commercial retail space in Orland Park. 57,000 people cannot support that 12 million. We have to have that trade area be strong, and we want them to continue to shop here for our bricks and mortars. So while we recognize that this is a significant investment, no different than the investment that we made for the LaGrange corridor, it's a well worth investment for our local businesses and for our community. And if you spread that cost over 10 years, it's actually quite nominal.
So I'll just comment really quickly as someone whose company puts up Christmas lights and LEDs. The LEDs are warranted for 3 years. They do last probably 10 years plus. So I would anticipate that we would get more than 10 years out of these. That being said, you're absolutely correct that this is a large dollar amount to put forth. So over 10 years, you're still looking at $35,000 a year, which is pretty significant. But to Director Freiling's point, it is economic development, and bringing people in over the Christmas holidays is critical. So if we chose not to do that or did something, there are trade-offs that we have to make with that. It's a challenge that everyone has to deal with. I'm not a huge fan of spending a ton of money on this, but we hadn't had any Christmas decorations for, as
over 20 years.
As Village Manager Lamargo said, for over 30 years. So these should last over 10, and the annual cost after this will be about $50,000 a year for the installing that we can't do ourselves. So it is a big cost, and I don't think there's any way to quantify exactly what it means to our businesses, but I will tell you that the mall, and from my meetings, the mall, the Cornerstone Mall, they're clamoring for more of that to make sure we're driving traffic in the holiday season, where they do, two-thirds, three-quarters of their business is during those 2 months.
Which is where we collect our sales tax during those months.
So I don't know there's a way to quantify it exactly to say that there's a payoff, but spreading over 10 years, it is expensive, but and makes me a little bit uncomfortable, but not compared to some other things that have been done, it doesn't make me that uncomfortable. Any other comments?
Hi, my name is Madeline Flaherty. I've read recently in the newspaper that there's a couple of businesses that are being wined and dined by Tinley Park because they're being given a reduction in taxes. I'm going to guess, I don't remember the names off the top of my head, but is Orland doing anything to try to retain those businesses? And what about like the I-80 corridor? Are we going to do anything to encourage smaller businesses or businesses like manufacturing, some of those? Because I know that there are businesses that can't afford to be here in Orland Park because of the taxes and the price of the rents.
Do you want me to answer that too,
I
Mr.
can
Mayor?
answer
Would
it.
you like to?
So I've been taking meetings on economic development since I've been in office, all of about 45 days, I think. So I've taken many meetings already with businesses in the I-80 corridor, with the mall, which is critical, with developers, and it's not going to be a fast process. We're not going to see something overnight because some of these conversations are just starting. Also, probably the biggest impediment we have is the state of Illinois, and the budget that they just are about to pass is not going to help because businesses aren't going to come here. So our only hope is to get businesses in Illinois to relocate here. So there are some challenges. It's on my agenda. I am constantly working on it, but those things are not going to happen in a week or 2 weeks or a month. It's going to take longer than that for that stuff to happen. But you will start to see progress, and we'll keep working on it. That's one of the reasons for proposing to adjust our commissions. You'll also find that in 2 weeks, we're going to have something on the agenda to change our Economic Development Advisory Board, because my only entering argument to revising the commissions is that the Economic Development Advisory Board needed to be changed right now because they haven't met in 5 years, and we have too much talent in the village to not be helping me and helping staff with economic development.
Mr. Mayor, if I could please just add that our vacancy rate for commercial property is less than 4%, so a lot of businesses are choosing Orland Park.
Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to make a comment that obviously some of the concerns that you raised was part of the rationale that the board took into account when we decided to make the mayor's position commensurate, to a full-time salaried position. Because we do want our mayor to be able to be accessible and available to meet with businesses and to, be a leader in the economic development area. So we are concerned about that, and we want to continue to, keep Orland in the forefront of economic development.
Is there any other comments from the?
Far more comfortable standing than sitting down. My name is Mike Cruz, and it's not spelled anything like it sounds. It's K-R-Z-U-S. I'd like to offer an ad hoc comment on the comments regarding an ad hoc committee. I'll simply say there were at least two different points of view. And regardless which point of view you have, when I listened to the names that were suggested in the proposal or suggestion, and then some of the comments that offered a differing point of view, there was a common thread. It's all people who have given a lot of time to the village, either as volunteers or in service, literally as trustees. And I'd ask you to take a slightly different perspective. You need a couple of outsiders. You need a couple of people who are going to look at it from a different lens. When I used to do a lot of business travel, and I don't remember if it was McKinsey or an Accenture had a sign at O'Hare, and it was simply perspectives. And on one side, there was a guy looking through a binoculars or a telescope, and he's looking out perhaps something like this: green fields, the trees, and then somebody was standing at his back, looking out in the other direction, overlooking an ocean. Perspective is a matter of where you stand, and I think you need to consider different perspectives when you put together an ad hoc committee by any other name.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Janine Smith, and I have a quick question about the lights. Sorry about that. Being an economic developer in my past life, I know it's important to attract people to our village in order to grow the economy. But I have a question about the lumens, and you mentioned that they were bright whites for the LEDs. Is that correct? Is there a way? I thought it was a lot. There was a lot of light, and maybe to delamp it or using a soft white light instead of the bright white light might lend itself more to.
My response to that would be last year with the phase one, if you drove around Orland Park, you saw the LED bright lights, and they're actually, LEDs are not really, I'm not an LED expert, probably the mayor is more so than I am. But if you notice, if you recall the tree lighting that was down at Crescent Park that came all the way down to this area as well, it was quite nice. And I think the bright light white is actually has a more impactful feel, and I think I'll defer to any of the trustees who saw it. I mean, we actually went to the bright light LEDs last year. It was the first year we went to that, and I think the impact was pretty significant. And so we wanted to keep that and extend that into the LaGrange Gore corridor as well, and make sure that it all kind of matched and went hand in hand together. So that's why we stayed with what was originally part of phase one, which was the LED bright light.
So I'll comment on the lights.
Thank you.
Because I have some experience with customers with lights. I think whether it's soft white or the pure white, which is what we had up
Right.
there, I think unfortunately it's a matter of taste. And I think if you go across the entire village, you're going to get different opinions whether they like the pure white or they like the soft white. And I don't know that we're going to be able, whichever choice we make, I think is potentially the wrong choice for some people. So that's I guess that would be one of my concerns. Generally speaking, the amount of from an LED, the amount of lumens off of either of them, whether they're the pure white or the soft white, really aren't any different, although they appear different just because of the different color.
We have learned that we cannot make everyone happy with our holiday decorations.
Any other questions? Any other questions? Any other comments? No? Okay. Entertain a motion to go into closed session.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Fenton.
move to go into closed session for A, approval of minutes, B, appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific village employees, C, purchase or lease of real property for the use of village, D, pending litigation against, affecting, or on behalf of the village when found by the board that such action is probable or imminent.
Second.
Mr. Chairman.
The motion was moved and seconded, but I realize we should have board comments first, so.
Right. I was going to say the same thing.
Okay, so we will do board comments first. Trustee Gira.
Thank you. I would just like to commend our staff and thank them for all the events. This has been a very busy week. We had the Liberty Run last Friday, Centennial West Concert on Sunday, which got a little wet. 4th of July celebration last night, and then we're working on the Taste of Orland and Pandemonium Run. So life is good in Orland Park, lots of activities going on.
Trustee Carroll.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd just like to thank staff and the Vet Tech US and Keeling Family Foundation. We had our electronics recycling event a couple Saturdays ago. It was a great success. We're still waiting on the total number of poundage of electronics that we took in, but we had volunteers out there for 6 hours. It was a beautiful day, thank God, and look to do another event in the future.
Trustee Ruzick.
No comments other than maybe we could get a couple of those LED lights in here next time, 'cause it seems
Yes.
a little dark in here. I know when one's out, it looks like.
Trustee Calandrello. No comments. Trustee Fenton.
Just want to thank staff, as Trustee Gira said. Yesterday's events were really fantastic. They had a little glitch with the music, but they got it back on. A little glitch with the parking, but that was 2 accidents. So, but everybody seemed to have a great time. The weather held up, and I'd also like to thank staff for their listening to the trustees, especially my griping about the Christmas holiday decorations. And like I said, everybody's going to really enjoy what we've got on store for this year coming up. And attend the market on Thursdays. It's really great.
And so on the market aspect, I believe we have some food trucks now that can serve beer and wine. I believe that should be out there now. I have not been out there the last couple of weeks. I've been busy to check, but which should make it even more fun. I have some thank yous. Well, first I want to thank all of you for coming, because I think it's great when citizens are involved, and I want to thank Zach. He's not here, but for him to step up, that's great. I want to thank Chief McCarthy and the police department. I don't know how many of you know that Vice President Pence was in Palos Heights for a funeral, and our department was asked to provide security, additional security, and we got a letter from Palos Heights thanking them for the great job that they did. I also want to thank Nancy Flores and her team, including Ray Piattoni and Matt Creed, for all their hard work this weekend. There were a lot of events, and they were there at all of them, and they were taking things down and putting things up and doing all that work, and it's a lot of hard work over a holiday weekend, so thank you very much for that. I also want to give a special thank you to Frank Florentine for upgrading our lunch TV down in the lunchroom. It was a really simple request, which he handled quickly and without bureaucracy, and just got it done, which was fantastic. So again, thank you for all of that. And with that, there's been a motion to go to closed session. The question is now put.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello?
Aye.
Trustee Guerra? Aye. Trustee Ruzick?
Aye.
Trustee Carroll?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
3 minutes.
How was it?
Well,